Live from Austin, Texas, with host Rosie Newberry. Local trends, shopping, and more. This is Studio 512.
Everybody, and thank you so much for joining us for Studio 512 today, because today, June 20th, is Nexstar's Founders Day. Nexstar owns us. It's KXAN, KNVA, and KBVO, and the company asks its little worker bees like me once a time each year to spend a little time giving back to a local nonprofit. This year is super special as we are actually supporting two children's-based nonprofits that are doing amazing work in Central Texas. Mari Elbol is the co-founder and managing director of Carrying Hope, and she's here to tell us more. And I will say, this is the nonprofit I really stuck for, so I'm so glad that we're able to support you guys today. Mari, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being with us. And we've talked about Carrying Hope here on the show before with Kristen Finan, who's a co-founder with you. But let's talk about what your organization is and kind of the three-pronged approach that y'all take to filling some of the gaps in the foster care system.
Sure. Well, thanks so much for having us. We're excited to be part of your Founders Day. Carrying Hope started in 2016, so we're approaching our 9th year as a 501c3 nonprofit headquartered in Austin. And we started because we saw a need where kids were coming into the foster care system, especially in emergency placements, with absolutely nothing. So we came up with the idea for Hope Packs. And Hope Packs are basically backpacks filled with comfort items and essentials designed to meet the needs of kiddos for the first 24 to 48 hours. So they're broken down by age, gender. We also have gender neutral Hope Packs from newborns all the way to 18. And
yeah, you guys are clever. You even tagged them here on the back. 4-year-old female, or it doesn't have to be, as you said, it can be gender neutral. But boy, if somebody says, I'm really into dinosaurs, and that's a little girl, they can go home with a dinosaur
Exactly. And so we stock Rainbow Rooms, CPS offices, foster care agencies with our Hope Packs, exactly so that when they have a kiddo that's being placed, they can take the Hope Pack that correlates with that child. And it's almost like a starter kit for them. And it not only helps them, brings them a little bit of comfort during a moment of crisis, but also for the family or the caregivers taking them in, they have something. They're not rushing out to the store at midnight to buy formula or diapers or clothes for the next day at a new school.
Yeah.
So that's sort of our model, and we've grown a lot in the 9 years.
I was going to say, this is where you started, but since that time, you've also expanded to Hair and Hope?
Yes. So we have a Hair and Hope program too, which basically it's to meet the needs of kiddos with textured hair. So we partner kiddos with textured hair with talented stylists. We fully compensate the stylists, and then they get the hair care they need to feel confident and beautiful. And so we're servicing kiddos all throughout Travis County and in areas of Texas as well.
And your reach continues. Not only that, but I think the statistic that's so shocking is that half of all 18-year-olds that have just aged out of the foster care system become immediately homeless. So you guys are doing something really big to fill that gap as well.
So yes, we started Hope's Home, and that is designed for kids who've aged out of foster care who are facing homelessness. We help them with housing, we help them with wraparound case management services, teach them how to drive, get their driver's license, apply for schools. One of our recent graduates is a first-generation college student. She just finished her first semester at Texas State, and she did so well. So we're really happy for her.
Is this one who's going into social work in order to help kids just like her?
Yes.
Oh, it gives me goosebumps to talk about. I absolutely love it. Okay, so it's a three-pronged approach. Actually, what we're doing here at KXAN today is that we're helping put together some of these Hope Packs. So we've got ones spread out here just a little bit. Again, as we indicated, 2 different ones. But can you talk to me about some of the items that kids will find inside when they receive one of these Hope Packs, and therefore what we're packing up today?
Yes, absolutely. So you can go online and see our supply list. We have them broken down for all ages. And basically, we try to provide quality, brand new items that are going to make a kiddo feel comforted and loved and
they're
be fun.
cute too. I mean, I'd take this little hairbrush. But a good point is that there are hygiene items in here,
Yes.
as well as comfy things. And
Right.
I always bring up the night light.
Yes.
Can you talk to me a little bit about the importance of that?
Absolutely. So in our Hope Packs, we always have a nightlight or a flashlight and some books and stuff. A lot of times these kiddos are going to a new home. It's unfamiliar. It can be scary, frightening, and it's just something that can bring them a little bit of comfort.
Yeah, in the middle of the night, if
right.
you get scared,
Exactly.
be able to
exactly.
turn your little light on. Look how
Got brand new
precious.
clothes, brand new pajamas, underwear for babies, diapers, wipes, formula, pacifiers, just basically everything you need to kind of get started, and items that are completely theirs. We've had, kids want to keep the packaging of toys because they've never had a toy in a new package. So yes, this is just, it's a really great way this summer, if you're looking for a meaningful give back opportunity to do with your own kids, take your kid to Target or Walmart and make a Hope Pack for another child their same age. They're gonna, I promise, pick
They're
out
gonna
the
have
coolest
fun.
stuff.
Yeah.
They are. And I think it teaches a little bit of selflessness too.
Sure.
I really want this Lego, but maybe this other kid has never had a Lego. I want to give it to him or her.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So corporations can help out by doing things like we're doing today with Hope Packs, but also, of course, we always love to encourage donations for Carrying Hope.
Yes.
Real quickly, in our last few seconds here, the Summer Splash and Back to School Bash is coming up.
Yes.
And so we really want to let people know about what a wonderful opportunity that is for them to get involved.
Yes. So each year, in honor of Carrying Hope's birthday, this will be our 9th, we take around 100 kids, sometimes more, for a day of fun in the sun in the water park. We pay for their admission, we unlimited drinks, food, memories, and they all go home with a $100 gift card to buy back to school clothes so that they can enter the next school year with a little bit of confidence and style. And so we do invite the community to sponsor a kiddo's admission, maybe purchase a back to school gift card. You can do all of that on our website. And it's really creating a memory that they'll cherish for years to come.
Absolutely. Core memory type stuff, and then the confidence of strutting into a new school year with clothing that you've gotten to choose. I think it's wonderful. You guys do such great work, Mari. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Of course. All right, guys, get involved at carryinghope.org or learn more by emailing info@carryinghope.org. The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored by Grand Endeavor Homes. Justin Jacobs is the president of Grand Endeavor Homes, and for more than a decade, he has been helping his clients create unique, customized, and luxurious homes all across Central Texas. He's here today to talk to us more about his business. And so, Justin, my first question for you is just to tell us more about Grand Endeavor Homes and what it is y'all offer.
Grand Endeavor Homes is a luxury custom home builder serving the Central Texas area. We have several of our own exclusive neighborhoods in Georgetown, New Braunfels, but if you have your own lot, we will happily build on it as well. I'm actually a second generation home builder. Grand Endeavor Homes has been around for around 10 years. My father has been around for 35 years in the area. The one thing I'll say that I've really learned that has stuck with me is to always do the right thing and treat people right.
What sets you apart, Justin, from other home builders in the area? You've got a gorgeous spot here, and you're doing your absolute best to make people happy.
Yeah, I would say the pride and the passion, that permeates throughout our organization is what sets us apart. Each and every person in our organization cares about the customer, the family, and about building a dream home that people can enjoy for years to come.
Wonderful. How do you ensure customer satisfaction each and every day? It's a hard thing to do, but you guys are working hard at it.
Customer satisfaction is the heart of everything we do. We ensure by fostering open and transparent communication from the initial meeting to the final walkthrough. Our team is committed to proactive communication, always going above and beyond. We're available to answer questions and concerns, and we actively seek feedback to continually improve our processes.
How do you guys keep innovating? How do you stay ahead of the curve when it comes to home building?
We are constantly researching the latest trends in sustainable building, smart home technology, and modern design aesthetics. We actively seek out the best design inspirations from across the country and incorporate them into our designs as we collaborate with our clients.
I think we'd be remiss not to mention this. It is to die for. Can you talk to me about some of the aesthetic I'm looking at here?
Yeah, so actually this home, we started designing it right after a trip to Park City for the Parade of Homes back in 2021 or so. And we incorporated a lot of ideas and things we saw from that into this home.
And so folks who are watching today who are interested in having that special place, having their own input maybe in their own home, how can they get started with you?
A quick click on the website or a phone call, and we'll connect you with our sales team, and we will get the ball rolling.
Sounds good to me. All right,
Yeah.
Justin, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Get started creating your dream home today at GrandEndeavorHomes.com. The preceding portion of Studio 512 was sponsored by Grand Endeavor Homes. Welcome back, everybody. We're talking now with the second of the two children's-based Central Texas nonprofits that KXAN, KNVA, and KBVO are supporting on today, Founders Day. Tanisha Holmes is here to talk to us about the Center for Child Protection, and she is the Director of Team Coordination because it is a team effort to take care of our kids. So Tanisha, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being here. I think you guys do such incredible work, and really you cannot underscore the importance of this work, but it is kind of tough to talk about. If you wouldn't mind, tell us a little bit about the center and how you'll serve our community.
Yeah, sure. So the Center for Child Protection is a nonprofit that serves children in Travis County who've experienced abuse or neglect. So we partner with our law enforcement and Department of Family Protective Service partners, medical professionals, and even prosecutors to make sure that kiddos have a safe, child-friendly environment during the child abuse investigations. So we also offer lots of different services. We offer family support, forensic interviews, medical assessments, anything we can to support families during that hard time. And all of these services integrated together mean that kiddos only have to tell their stories one time in a safe, trauma-informed space. That way they can get back to the work of healing and then just being a kid again.
I actually didn't know that. That's wonderful. And I know that you have people who are specifically trained to work with children in order to be there to hear that story.
Exactly. Our forensic interviewers have amazing training. They're always staying on top of best practices to make sure that they get information in a way that's developmentally appropriate and helpful for the kiddos.
And you, as a director of team coordination, I mean, I think it's important to underscore here that law enforcement is involved. You know what I mean? We are talking forensic evidence, that sort of thing. So can you talk to me about how it is to be a nonprofit, but to work with like these other arms of government and that sort of thing, because everything has to really be super duper tight, crossing all your T's, dotting all your I's to make sure that these kids are taken care of.
Yeah, it's an amazing process. We love our partners. We have Travis County law enforcement, law enforcement throughout the Austin area we get to work with. There's over 20 different jurisdictions that we get to work with in this work. The Department of Family Protective Services, all of us coming together in this hub to make sure that we're handling cases effectively. And so for us to be invited to that party to support our partners as they get this information and go for it towards, prosecution, all of those things are super helpful, super important. So we're happy to be a part of that process.
Absolutely. And we are happy to be supporting you today on Founders Day. And one of the reasons that we were able to do both Carrying Hope and the Center for Child Protection is that in some ways y'all's needs do cross over. We are talking about young children. And so you have a range of kits that you love to have people put together. They can do it, as a corporation, as a family, that sort of thing. Can you just talk to me about the types of kits that are out there first?
Yeah, for sure. So we have our hygiene kits. These give essential items which help to restore dignity and comfort during those traumatic times. We also have hair care kits, which are super helpful for textured hair, different types of hair, the essential needs that you have, that those kiddos have, and it helps them to be comfortable in that new environment, in that place that they're going to. There's also coping kits that we're able to put together, kits that we're able to use for when kiddos go to court, stuff like that. So just a variety of different kits that folks can help us to put together on behalf of children.
And there are some you know, you really want to help boost confidence, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you talk about like that specialized hair care kit, because it's possible that kids are walking into court and do need to represent themselves. And so we want to do everything we can to support them in that mission. So the hygiene kits are what we're helping you guys put together today. Talk to me about what's in this.
Yes, for sure. These amazing essential items. So we have shampoos, conditioners, body wash, toothpaste, toothbrush, brushes, combs, loofahs, deodorant, anything that you need to take care of your essential care, we have here in these packs.
And this is the sort of thing where people can volunteer to spend their time and actually they help buy the items to go in the packs.
For
right?
sure, yes. They can help donate the items, they can help assemble the items, whichever way we will take it, if that's donations, donation of items, and or time.
And so the time that children receive these kits is when?
So it really depends on the process. Our kids closet, which we stock with items, is available to our teammates 24/7. So whenever families need items, if we have an emergency case, they're able to take them. If they come in for services and need them, they're able to use them then. So it just is whenever. Last year we had over 900 kiddos come in for forensic interviews. And so that's an opportunity that any one of those kiddos could have needed these hygiene kits. So it's always amazing to have them stocked and ready for families if they're needed.
Absolutely. Everything you need to feel clean, to feel fresh, and to get your day started. Okay, I just want to ask real quickly before we let you go. Of course, we encourage folks to put together kits like this. There are other ways that folks can help though too, right?
Yes, so many different ways. So volunteering at our fundraising events. We have dancing coming up in December. From assisting in the background at the center, helping us maintain our backyard, our vegetable garden for the kiddos, hosting a donation drive with families. So volunteers and community groups can get involved in a lot of different ways. We're lots of different options. We have ongoing volunteer opportunities, also one time. So whatever folks want to help do, we're here to do that.
I love to hear that. And of course, guys, just a reminder, I mean, this is local help that you're giving to kids who are right here in Central Texas. So Tanisha, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate what it is you do. Okay, guys, help find other ways to support the center's mission at centerforchildprotection.org.
Hey Austin, our animal shelters have been chronically overcrowded for over a decade. Fostering has become a huge part of our shelter system. I'm here with a foster mom that has years of experience. Let's check it out.
I'm Sandy Isaacson, and I've been fostering animals for about 10 years. And I've fostered all types of dogs, every size, from puppies to large size breeds. Fostering, it's when you invite a pet into your home for temporary care, and so you're caring for that animal on a short-term basis. Aww. That can be for a lot of different reasons. It can be for medical, it can be for kennel stress, for extreme weather events like the freezes that we have, or over the holidays maybe, you know. Fostering gives the staff a very realistic picture of how that dog behaves in a home. So Stella is a dog that was here on campus at Texas Humane Heroes for several months. She was one of those cases where she had a lot of kennel stress and she had a lot of energy, but she was a smart dog. That's when they asked me to foster and to get some notes on her and how she was in a home environment. And sure enough, I mean, as soon as we brought her home, she was smart, engaged, and loyal and affectionate, and just all the things that you could want in a dog. Without her being in foster, the staff would have never known that. And sure enough, she got matched with a really nice family, and it was just such a great, happy ending for that. So Minnie is also highly dog reactive. She has to be the one and only in the home, right? She can't be with other dogs. That makes it a harder situation to find the right family. So I fostered her, I think, like 4 times at this point over the last 2.5 years. Again, she's a smart dog, and she's engaged, and she just wants to like give all the love and cuddles. She's ready for her forever family, and I just hope that she finds her match soon. I love to foster because it's so much more flexible, right? It's not a longer term commitment. It's a low cost option too. As soon as I started fostering though, that has just really changed my perspective on kind of the shelter system just in general and how important it is to spay and neuter your pets. Everybody who's had a pet knows it's life is so much better with a pet in it. When you're able to see that dog blossom and that personality start to come through, it's really fun. You definitely sign up. There's a form that you fill out, and you definitely discuss with the staff. Be honest with yourself and with the staff about what you're able to handle in your home and what you're not. With that information, the staff will be able to better match you with a pet that's going to fit your situation. Those are some of the hidden gems of the shelter. I really encourage everybody who's looking to adopt, ask the staff, hey, who's in foster? Can I learn more? You won't regret it.
To learn more about fostering, or to see a list of dogs and cats that need to be fostered, talk to your local animal shelter. Austin animals need our help. Spread the word. Life is so much better with a pet in it.
So I spoke to my brother, told me take a look at all love to be discovered, shine a light. Well, it might seem cold and dark, but it's worth the fight. The time you let that way live out of your mind. Well, the whole world's out there waiting, brother, shine a light.
Ooh! I could listen to a whole lot more of that. Guys, you just heard a little bit of Shine a Light from Connor Stevens, a local musician who's playing next weekend at the Austin Firefighters Relief and Outreach Fund benefit concert at Meanwhile Brewing. Connor and Adrienne Rivers, event manager at Meanwhile, are joining us today to talk to us more about this evening of Texas country for a good cause. Y'all, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for having us.
I'm so glad you're here. And Connor, I just have to say, I think you sound absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah, what a voice. You don't need a microphone. You know how to project, my friend. All right, Adrienne, I'd like to talk just a little bit off the top here, if we can, about the event. We love supporting Meanwhile Brewing. I always tell people, if you need your kids to be out there playing while you get yourself an adult beverage, there is a lot of space out at Meanwhile. Talk to us a little bit about what we can expect.
Yeah, so this is a super special event. This is the 4th year that we have worked with the Austin Firefighter Relief and Outreach Fund. We always do a lovely night of country music. So it is a $10 donation at the door. We have a special beer. It's a summer shandy that is brewed in collaboration with last year's raffle winner.
I love summer shandy.
Yeah, it is nice super tasty. Yep, nice and light, a little fruity. It's going to be available in draft and cans, and we're just going to get together, enjoy some music, support this incredible nonprofit.
Let's talk about that nonprofit.
Yeah.
So it is the Austin Firefighters organization or the outreach organization? I don't understand.
Yeah, so it is one organization. It is a nonprofit composed of firefighters. So it is the Austin Firefighters Relief and Outreach Fund. So what they do is they support firefighters in Austin who are going through a tough time, whether that be health-wise, to support, their families. They also do disaster outreach here in Austin. So they're just really going above and beyond to support people in their community, even outside that's their daily job. And this is something they do on the side.
It's so much actually that firefighters do in order to keep our communities safe. So I think any sort of support that an organization can give them is awesome. And then of course it's really easy to do when you're having a cold beverage and you're listening to some great country music. So Connor, I asked you this off camera, but you got started with music pretty young, but changed instruments along the way. Yeah, tell me about that.
Yeah, so, I started when I was 10, when my family moved to Austin when I was 7, and, Austin and live music, that's what it is.
That is.
And so I started playing bass, and then, kind of put that down, wasn't sure that that's what I wanted, and then, in middle school started playing cello, and that was great, but, it just wasn't as much for me. Put that down, and then I started singing, and then I was like, okay, I should learn guitar because I really want to write songs. And once I started that, then the rest is history.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I told you I was going to ask you this question. As a singer-songwriter, where do you begin with a song?
It changes so often. You know, it's definitely a moving being that where it starts, right? So sometimes it's me with, I'll sit down and just be like, okay, I'm just going to practice guitar today. And then I'll just start playing a chord progression. I'm like, oh, I like that. And I'll start humming something. Then all of a sudden the words pop into my head.
Wow.
Sometimes and it's probably 50-50, but then sometimes I'm just going about my day and then it hits me. A melody with the words in my head, like...
That's a true creative, y'all. That doesn't happen to me. But that's really amazing.
Thank you.
And so, is what you play mostly your own work?
I only play originals.
You only play originals?
Yeah, so if it's 90-minute set, it's all originals. I mean, anywhere that you can expect to find me, even if it's a 3-hour solo set, I will play 3 hours of all original songs.
That is incredible. And you sound absolutely fantastic. I want to know, just specifically since we're talking country in Texas, any influences that, anybody that you listen to that you're like, oh man, I really love the sound of that. I like the way they do words. I like the way they do melodies.
Yeah, totally. I mean, of course, being from Texas, big George Strait guy.
Oh, sure.
Right, the king. But then, and I didn't grow up on country music. I actually grew up on blues and soul and funk music. That's what my dad raised me on, right? And so that's the music he listened to in high school, growing up in the 70s and stuff. And that was what he jammed out on. And so, I took, so a lot of my influences are that, Marvin Gaye, Otis Redding, and Ray Charles, right? Stuff like that. But then, newer stuff like Tedeschi Trucks Band. And a lot of people will compare this, and I, like, every time I'm like, that's the biggest compliment. But, and you can kind of hear it, I guess, but a little bit of Chris Stapleton as well has been a big influence. In terms of me understanding, like, the rasp that I had in my voice, I was just singing along to his stuff. And I kind of knew I always had it, but then singing along to his songs, I was like, oh yeah, okay, cool. And so then, I just took it and, made it my own.
Made it your own.
Yeah.
And I think your father would be proud of the flare jeans if he was grown up in the 70s.
Yeah.
He'd be really proud of these.
Yeah.
Turn back around, Dad. Can I ask, just real quickly, when people show up and they see your performance, should we expect a range of emotions in the songs, that sort of thing?
Yeah, big range of emotions. Expect a roller coaster emotions. I kind of tell stories from my own life, both personal and drawn from other experiences, but those experiences are not all static. It is very, very moving. So a lot of ups and downs, lots of energy. I definitely take pride in the fact that I'm up there. I have a job as an entertainer, not just as a songwriter anymore. And so, for me, I see it as a sacred moment to be on that stage and to be able to provide anybody who's there a good show and a fun show where they can get up and dance or sit down and cry at the next song. So
Again, it's possible.
It is possible.
Oh man, well, I cannot wait to see you perform. And just real quickly, Adrienne, in our last 10 seconds or so, anything else coming up at Meanwhile? It's summertime, time to get out.
Yeah, well, one of our most exciting things is we just came out with our first ever 6-pack Darlin Lager. So you can find this in HEBs. We have it on draft in the tap room. It is so tasty. It is the perfect summer beer. So check it out.
Meanwhile does know how to make a mean brew. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for your time. And break a leg, Connor. Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys. You can RSVP for free for that super cool event, the Austin Firefighters Relief and Outreach Fund Benefit Concert, right now at meanwhilebeer.com. We'll see you there. The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored by Advanced Pain Care. Hey y'all, going through cancer, of course, can be really challenging, both emotionally and physically. Pain management specialist, Dr. Marco Uribe, is here to talk to us about how Advanced Pain Care can address specific issues affecting cancer patients. And actually, Dr. Uribe, I'm going to ask you to get a little personal right off the top here. Talk to me about why you wanted to become a pain interventionist, especially when it comes to cancer care.
Yeah, this is really, something that really hits home for me. My younger sister, Marissa, we were growing up here in Austin. She was battled through cancer for most of her life. When I was in medical school, she got diagnosed with late-stage colon cancer and had a lot of pain. And just her battle through that introduced me to what pain can do for not only the patient, but for the patient's whole family and their relationships.
So let's talk about the common types of pain experienced by cancer patients and maybe how that differs from typical pain that somebody else might experience.
Yeah, it's definitely different than your typical pain patient. Cancer pain, is very multifaceted. You have neuropathic pain, which is pain from the nerves when sometimes the tumor is growing or sometimes the cancer is advancing and it's impacting nerves, sending sporadic signals that we can intervene with.
Let's talk about what the different treatment options are that are available for managing cancer pain.
Definitely, there's a lot of different options. With cancer pain, it's the whole patient, like we've talked about. Oftentimes one of the cornerstones of therapy is medications, but with cancer patients uniquely, they're oftentimes on a lot of medications that may be the cause of some of their pains.
Right.
So yes, we use medications to the best extent that we can, and that's what they're for patients that are going through this battle.
You guys have a host of ways to help people in all different types of pain.
Exactly, yeah. So using a whole team is very, very important. It's not just the body that's sick, it's the whole human being and, their experience with their relationships and their mood and their sleep. And so we use an interdisciplinary team approach at Advanced Pain Care with psychology. We communicate with the oncologist. We communicate with, the surgical oncologist.
Absolutely, getting better outcomes for patients who are in pain. Dr. Uribe, we really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
To learn more about what you could do if pain wasn't holding you back, talk to the doctors at Advanced Pain Care. Go to austinpaindoctor.com to get help managing your pain today. The preceding portion of Studio 512 was sponsored by Advanced Pain Care. Welcome back, everybody. Coleman Estate has just completed a major renovation project. The Boutique Winery is located on that famous stretch of wineries on 290 between Fredericksburg and Johnson City, and they offer tastings on the Texas Wine Trail. Richard Foster is the Vice President of Business Development, and he's here to talk to us about the renovations and, of course, the delicious stuff they offer. So, Richard, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, let's talk about what's new and updated at Coleman, because this is the estate vineyard, so this is where the grapes are grown.
It is. So the Coleman Estate property is about 12 acres in total. We have about 7.5 acres that are under vine. But the renovation we just did was complete overhaul of the tasting room. So we completely gutted the building. We did a complete renovations of the tasting suites, which you'll see rolling through here. We did additions to the bathrooms, exteriors to the building, all got completely done. We added in a merchandise area and then a full kind of interior lounge for all of our wine club members to come and enjoy glasses or bottles in an AC'd environment.
You guys have been busy.
We have. We started this project earlier this year around February, and we're getting wrapped up with the tasting room, which is phase one of the production.
Okay, nice. And I love to hear AC, especially, I love going out to the hill country so much, yes. But the truth is, it's always nicer to enjoy.
It is. We're getting warmer and warmer as we get closer to August. So we try to provide a little bit of space. Obviously, people expect to see vineyard views. They want to see, when you come to the hill country, you want to see the vineyard, you want to see production, you want to be kind of in that environment.
And this is harvest time, right?
It is. Well, we're growing season right now. We'll do harvest like late July and August, but people want to be out in the environment when they come to the hill country. So we provide most of our space outdoors. We try to keep a little bit of space inside for people who need that acclimated weather.
That's me. Okay, you brought a couple of lovely wines to show off to us today. Can we start with your whites?
Absolutely. So bringing the estate white wine. So this comes directly off of the property. Last year, so 2024 was our first harvest of the Coleman Estate.
Wow.
So we did a Roussanne Marsanne blend for one of our white wines. We're going to have a...
I'm sorry to stop you. I don't know much about white wine. Roussanne Marsanne sounds like we're talking French grapes.
We are, yes. So southern French grapes that we're going to utilize. So think like tropical notes, fruit notes, some floral, crisp, clean lines. That's how we prefer our white wines. We don't do any residual sugar, and we do mostly stainless production on all of our white wines. So
okay, if you could liken it to like a Sauvignon Blanc.
So
a
yeah, so
Chardonnay.
some in line with kind of Sauvignon Blanc, Chardonnay, maybe a little softer, more delicate on some of the floral notes and some of the citrus notes, but very easy drinking. Pop it in the refrigerator, get a good chill on it, enjoy it by the pool.
So I'm going to say it might come home with me.
Exactly.
All right, let's talk about your rosé.
So we're going to do a rosé of Syrah. So this is a first for us at Heath Family Brands and at Coleman Cellars, or Coleman Estates. So we're going to do a rosé of Syrah. So think bright red fruit notes, strawberries, cherries, raspberries, the really nice minerality which comes because that fruit was going to be sourced from the High Plains region of Texas, which is the majority of where all of the fruit comes in Texas. So we're going to feature that wine is going to be our sole rosé that we're going to have, and it's going to be done in a dry style, so no residual sugar on that wine as well.
That was my next question.
Yes.
Yeah, you know I have to. With rosé, it could go all over
It
the
could,
map.
and you can get a wide variety
Yeah.
from lightly sweet to dry to super sweet. We prefer ours mostly in the dry style, and that's what our clients come to expect from us. So those are the wines that we're going to feature as well.
Lovely. And we are going to try a little wine today. Let's talk about the red that you
We
brought.
are. So I brought kind of one of the feature red wines that we have in the portfolio right now. It's going to be a Cabernet Sauvignon. This one
My
is
favorite.
This one is going to be from Alexander Valley, out in California, is where we source the fruit from because we're in our first year of production. So it made sense that we would feature a really strong Cabernet in the profile. So this wine, believe it or not, just came back from a competition a few months ago, received a platinum award. So it was 94 points in the competition, which was among its sort of peers, wine enthusiasts, and those are the judging and professionals, and they gave us 94 points on this wine. So yeah, it was a pretty big score. So I think that marks maybe like our 200th plus wine that the wine team has garnered over 90 points on each of those wines. So
That's
it's a
fantastic.
huge accomplishment for the winemaking team.
And it's also a kind of like, you know, when you think about winemaking in the United States, you don't necessarily think the Texas
You
Hill
don't.
Country.
At
We're
least you
trying
have
harder to get it on the
and
map.
we're getting there. So I would say the last 10, 15 years there's been a really big resurgence of really great wines out in the Hill Country. I like to think that we have one of the best winemakers here in Texas. Jason's been our winemaker since early 2000s, so he's got a lot of experience under his belt with his team. So we're going to continue to make those really nice, elegant wines so the consumers can stop by and come and enjoy them.
Ooh, yeah, it's good. All right, cheers to you, my friend. Thank
Yes.
you so much, and congratulations on the
Absolutely.
renovations.
Thank you guys so much.
All right, for more information and to plan your visit, head to ColemanEstate.com. Hey, we are happy to be able to offer you some help if you're out there searching for jobs. KXAN has partnered with ZipRecruiter to help you find thousands of job openings in Austin and around the country. Just go to kxan.com/jobs where you can search thousands of new postings every single day. Check it out right now and get started on the path to your next career.